All right. Welcome, Smutters, to the Sibsreadsmut podcast. I'm Ned.
I'm Helen. Wink.
Wink. Ho, ho, ho. Just so happens to be Christmas in April, and you definitely want to be on Satan's naughty list.
Whoops. That
was a misspelling on Ned's part, and I'm leaving it in because I think it's funnier.
That is definitely my reading disorder coming to play with typing. Whoops.
It's good because now, folks, it's smut time. For those just tuning in, this is a podcast where we read, rate, review, and tell jokes and yucks while discussing our favorite dirty romance books. If you like our stuff, go on and hit that like, rate, or subscribe. Every little bit helps. And if you have book suggestions and/or questions that we can answer, don't send us ones we can't. Reach out us on the socials, Sibsreadsmut on Insta and TikTok, or email us at sibsreadsmut@gmail.com. We don't check that. You check it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is...
Yeah, I need to get all our passwords to sign into all of our accounts, which you don't go into at all.
I'm just the looks of the podcast, all right? On today's podcast, we will be discussing Lovelight Farms by BK Borison. Spoiler alert, we talk about this start to finish, beginning, endings, twist, fair game. If you haven't read the book, go read it. It's not long. It's darling. It's like a warm hug with a dick slap in the middle. And it's enjoyable. I would say, hey, book club, go read this one first and then listen to the pod. Don't let us ruin it for you. But off we go. Ned has written a summary all by himself.
I did, actually. Because usually you read it for me, but you haven't written, I don't think, a single one this season. So, yes, Listen, I did actually write this one for myself.
Your girl's busy. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Lovelight Farms by BK Borison. Stella owns a Christmas tree farm with cash flow issues and a saboteur, dare I say, undercurrent of menace.
Oh, my God.
Luca does some tech work bullshit in New York City, but has been pining away for Stella for a long time. Enter one social media contest with a huge cash prize, one lie on the entry form, one half-cocked fake dating plan, and these two are on the Express A train to Bonerville. Spoiler alert, they bone.
They bone. They get to Bonerville.
Yeah. They arrive on time.
They are on time. That's funny.
Yeah. Good job, me.
Good job. Hi, self 5. I did it.
Oh, man. Well, right off the bat, I mean, as the crowd want
parents.
to know. Well, dead parents.
Oh,
and
what were you going to say?
I was going to say cover watch. Cute cartoony cover, exactly the way that I love it, exactly what I like to see.
Yeah.
And, they have some kind of Christmas ball hanging down in front of their faces while they're kissing.
What is it called?
An ornament?
No, it's...
Or a snowflake?
What you kiss under the mistletoe.
Mistletoe. Well, because each of them have a different one. It kind of looks like, I guess it's mistletoe. I'm looking at it now on the Goodreads. It's charming, just like the book.
The cover. I'm glad you approve.
But I didn't see any alternate covers this time because on Cash we were looking at two different covers, and we did post them both. Not that you've ever watched any of this season's episodes after I've edited them, but I did put both covers on there, both versions of them, so that we could, people saw what I was seeing, and then people saw what you were seeing when you were doing your Vanna White impression, putting it on
I just
screen.
want to give the fans what they want, Ned. The fans,
a big honk-tittied cowgirl.
All the time I'm getting letters, texts, calls from the fans. They're all writing in and saying they want to see the other covers. So.
Yeah, or this season, I think the first time we put author photos on there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did post an author photo.
Giving the people what they want.
Absolutely. Well, this book is single perspective. Another one that's single perspective, which is
except for the epilogue.
except for the epilogue, which was nice seeing a little scene from him. We talked about last season with that stupid book, the classic, 50 Shades.
50 Shades. I was going to say, we don't call a lot of books stupid. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, where I was like, I would have liked to seen a chapter or two from his, and then it came out that they wrote his perspective like within the last couple of years, and so getting to see a little bit of a taste of him at the end of this book, I thought was nice.
Stella tastes him all the time.
Oh yeah, but unlike some of the other single perspectives, this one, Stella was charming. The characters around her were charming. There was enough story there where it wasn't, we weren't hearing her constantly harp on her relationship status. I think if you're going to do single perspective, this was done well.
Very well.
I don't like we say, I would prefer a dual perspective, but if it's done well, it's done well. And this was told, the story was good. There was enough meat on the bone there where we didn't have to hear her constant, fretting over their relationship status and everything else. But, a brief rundown of the general, and the voice actor on this for people who are going to read versus listen. I thought Pippa Jane is her name. I actually looked her up because she is phenomenal. I think she's great, and she has a huge oeuvre online. I looked a big word. I looked her up, and she's got she's the voice actor for a ton of books. But she has great tone, great pacing, and just the right amount of like breathy delivery that was like super hot. But I think she did a great job. So if you're gonna read versus listen, I would say give it a listen, folks.
And this is part of a series, right? Ned loves a good series. The Lovelight.
This is book one of 4.
How many have you read?
I read all of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it's been a while. This is a book that I read. I think a year or two ago.
At least.
Yeah. And so I think it was 2024, 2023, 2024. I think I read the whole series back then. Yeah. And I like it. It centers on Stella, who is the new owner of a Christmas tree farm, and she's just purchased it within the last year from a guy wanting to move down to like Boca Raton or some kind of horseshit down south, and it's not going well. No. She is having problems with her distributors. She's having problems with break-ins on the ranch. Fences getting broken down, and
trees are dying.
A whole tree lot of hers, died, and they can't figure out what's going on. And she's losing money hand over fist. She's paying for this place out of her own pocket, and she's in kind of dire straits at this point. And enter in Luca, who is her friend for like the past decade, and kind of like soul friend, and yet
kind of her only person at all. Well, that's not true. She has her bio dad, who's a shithead.
Well, yeah, and her half brother, and she has people around her. Were you going to say only friend? Because she has her coworkers are her friends too. Yeah. She has Beckett, and I forget the other woman's name. Layla,
who has
who's
the
a baker.
Bakery on campus. I think the reason I say he feels like her only friend is because she's this whole book, the whole point of it is she's so desperate to make sure that they stay friends, because she doesn't. Her mom is dead, and that's like her mom died right before she met Luca, and he helped her grieve, which was like a really important part. But she doesn't. I mean, she has her dad, who's a shithead, her half brother, who's good, but lives far away, and then she has her coworkers, but she doesn't have like a best girlfriend that she can really text all the time. That's him. So that's why I feel like she's so desperate to make sure that like their friendship never ends. She's like very fearful that their friendship's gonna die.
Layla kind of forces her way into that. She kind of is that person who jumps in bed with her and cuddles and goes, "We can all tell you like him. Why don't you just tell him you like him?" Like she's playing that part, even though Stella is Luca is her person, regardless of relationship status, and she's worried about doing it. So at the end of the day, dire straits for the place. She's paying the payroll out of her own pocket. They're about to run out of money, and she enters a contest by like Sandra St. James or something. I mistyped her names almost every time throughout the notes here. Like Beckett keeps calling her a different name, and I just unwittingly did the same thing throughout all of my notes. And
it's a social media like travel person, right? Like she writes.
She has a huge blog, and she's put on a blog and channel and in Instagram and social media presence, and she's putting on a huge kind of contest for all of these destination spots. It doesn't have to be Christmas tree farms or whatever else, but it's just, if you have a bed and breakfast, if you have in this case, a Christmas tree farm, or a bed and breakfast somewhere else, whatever. It's kind of, if you have a destination spot, she's going to put you in this contest, and Stella ends up being a finalist in this contest, which gives a $100,000 prize, and she needs the money. But dun dun dun. On the entrance application, she put down that she owns the Christmas tree farm with her boyfriend, and doesn't
have a boyfriend.
The first funny scene was Beckett, who is the lead farmer and caretaker of the farm. She asks him to be her fake boyfriend, and he just like gets very uncomfortable, and he's aghast, and he's like, "What?" No, like, ooh, no. And Layla comes in during that conversation, and Beckett is like, she just asked me to be her fake boyfriend, as he's like jizzing his pants about this zucchini bread, which was, there's a lot of food porny stuff in here where everyone's oh, the hot chocolate is to die for, and oh, the pizza is the best, and Layla's, cupcakes are, jizz in your pants worthy. It's like there's a lot of food porn-esque stuff going on in here, but she's like, just ask Luca. Everyone's just like, just ask Luca. Like, what are you talking about? And of course,
and she admits later that she knew all along that she wanted to ask Luca, or that was what she had in mind.
She was thinking about him the whole time
when she wrote the application, but then when it actually came time to ask him, she got so nervous, kind of because what I said earlier, like she's so afraid to lose the friendship and ruin the friendship that Taylor Swift, that she doesn't want to she doesn't want to go down that road. So, but she does eventually ask him. Quelle surprise. And she when he's eating, when Beckett is eating the zucchini bread, I also wrote down, she was like, oh, well, what can I do to make money in the meantime? And she wanted to record the sound he made while he was eating the zucchini bread and post it on OnlyFans. And she was like, we would rake in the money. Just that entire concept made me giggle, because she was like, oh, well, he's so hot and everyone in town kind of lusts after him, and he doesn't pay any Beckett. This is talking about Beckett. Yes,
doesn't pay anyone any attention. And
which book is his though? I feel like
the second one.
Okay, I was gonna say BK Borison does an awesome job in this book of setting up like the town and the people, and I loved her like pseudo dad, the sheriff or the head of police or whatever.
The sheriff.
When she and her mom, I kind of envisioned like this is sort of Gilmore Girls-y, where like the mom and daughter move here after like the mom got pregnant with Stella. The dad wanted nothing to do with them, left them high and dry. And so they went to this little town and then were kind of adopted by the town. So Stella is kind of like everybody's Rory. So the chief of police, was there in the very beginning and helped them move in.
Yeah.
When she was really small, and like still plays very much of a father figure to Stella in a lot of ways. But he is like also then falling in love with the owner of the pizza place, and I don't know. I just thought I loved the town aspect of it. Like, and to your point about the food porn, I felt like the food porn was very much in relation to setting relationships up of like everybody liked Layla because she was the baker. Everybody liked the pizza place, and everything.
Layla's book 3. I believe.
Okay. What's book 4 then? Does the chief of police get one?
I want to no. I want to say book 4 is
him.
Charlie.
Oh, the half brother.
The half brother, but I'm not sure about that. Let's look it up on the Goodreads. But she BK Borison, does
Charlie.
in there's a lot of characters in this, but to her credit, she slow rolls them in and doesn't just jam them all down your throat, and really gives each of them their own due, where they can, have a full personality and full backstory and enough character to them to kind of be a fully formed character in this book. And even if they're not going to get their own book, they still have enough depth, like you're saying, like the sheriff falling in love with the pizza place owner and everything else. They at least have some of their own, background and story, which kind of takes away from Stella harping on all of her bullshit for the entire run, and gets us out of her head and her thinking about other stuff, which is, by design, great to not kind of ruin the single perspectiveness of this. And, she compares everyone to Luca, Stella does, all her previous boyfriends and everything else. She's always kind of holding them up against Luca. And she's not sure if Luca feels the same way, but like after a couple beers, he's, touching her and she's feeling that Framunda heat. And she's like maybe he thinks about me the same way I do. So she's hesitant to have this conversation with him of like, will you be my fake boyfriend? Will you help me get out of this situation? And she's still not telling anyone, none of her business owners or Luca, that she's underwater on this farm. Financially. And, she's the first funny scene that the couple of scenes that I listed on here as like the standout scenes were the walk through the town where, Luca obviously says yes to this situation. Luca's been obsessed with her, we find out, for a very long time as well. And he goes, well, let's just take a walk around town holding hands and people will just get it. And people are so excited that they're together now. But it was that to me was a very charming scene.
It was very charming. There was like a lot of thought that went into that scene specifically, because he said yes, okay, great. But then it's like she essentially said that she opened this, like she insinuated in the application that they'd been together for a really long time, and this is a small town, again, very like Gilmore Girls-y. So it was like she realized that this St. James lady was going to get there and see that like clearly everybody knows that they were not actually together, so they couldn't really lie without telling the town we are actually together now, so hype it up. So that led to the walk around town. So they hold hands, and then like watching everyone's reactions as they go around town holding hands was really cute. Because they're just both, I feel like, beloved young people in this town.
Yeah, well, and he's his mom is like a grade school teacher. Or high school teacher in town. So his family is a fairly prominent family in town as well. But when she asked him to do the fake dating scenario, she's so in her head about it that she just shouts the question at him, and that made me laugh. That made me laugh a lot. She just goes, "Will you fake date me?" And he's like, "Sure." And she's now thrown off at his nonchalance of the whole thing. And my other note just from that scene was they're on the Express A train to Pound Town, just simply, and so they do. She is aghast because Luca goes, well, why aren't you dating, aren't you still dating whatever guy? And she's like, I haven't been dating him for almost a year like 17 like 17 months we've been broken up. And he was like, really? Oh my God. I can't believe you've been broken up this whole time. And she was like, in an effort to not ask Luca, she was like, maybe I'll just ask an escort. Like, that's what they do, right? And her trying to get out of asking him and then finally shouting the question at him was very, very funny to me. And spread out nicely, pace-wise, throughout this book are these acts of sabotage and everything else. And so we're seeing this stuff happen the pumpkins get smashed, and we're seeing some of this stuff happen in real time, and it's obviously sabotage. And what is Stella doing? Trying to handle it on her own. She has not gone to the sheriff. She has not told anybody else about this stuff. I mean, obviously Beckett and Layla know because they work on the farm. So on their walk around town, she finally goes and tells the sheriff, Dwayne or Dane or whatever,
Dane.
What's going on. And he's like, why have you not come to me with this? This is something that should have immediately brought to me. And we find out Luca goes to him with even more information throughout the book, and not behind Stella's back, but just like, hey, just so you know, another incident happened on the on
LA
the farm.
meeting call. Well, and Stella keeps just disregarding everything. It's like, oh, I bet it's high school kids just out having fun or like being funny. So she dismisses all of it, and I think she just also doesn't want to think that something bad is happening. And especially it's a small town. Like, she's like, I know everybody here. Who could it possibly be? Who has it out for me? And of course she has no cameras. She has none of in the beginning. So I think Dane and Luca kind of then get together and like, you need cameras. You need all of this stuff. So she does end up putting cameras up.
She thinks rabid raccoons are taking over her barn and whatever.
Raccoons in the barn.
Which turned out to be kittens. Literal kittens. Literal kittens, which is super cute. But so Sheriff Dane yells at her while they're doing their little walk around, and he's cleaning his shotgun like on the front porch of the sheriff's office, and giving Luca the business. Hey, just so you know, she's
what
like
are
my
your
daughter.
intentions? Yeah,
and that was a fun scene. And he goes,
and it was fun.
Go ahead.
Well, I liked it because it was Luca wasn't scared. Like, it wasn't like, oh, yes sir, of course sir. He was like, hey, yeah. Like, he was like, oh, great shotgun. Like, he was having a lot of fun with it.
While he thought it was unloaded, and he's like, yeah, son, this is unloaded. And then he was kind of like, oh, okay. But that was a pretty epic interaction and scene. Well, and we find out a little bit more about her dad.
Yes.
Where the Sheriff Dane goes about Brian Milford, her father. Brian Milford isn't fit to lick the tar off Satan's ass. It was like, he doesn't mince words. It was very funny, and some of her descriptions, whatever else, were BK Borison's were great in that regard. But we find out that the dad was already married. And that's why he left them high and dry, because Charlie is only like 6 months younger than Stella is. So that they work together. The dad was cheating on his wife with Stella's mom, and that's why he didn't stick around or whatever. And so we go ahead.
Well, so the dad then, like, as you find out more, this is also all going into the holiday season. So I think this is like early to mid-November that all of this is happening, where she's entering the contest. And so apparently her dad has a separate Thanksgiving dinner, like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual holiday, where she is allowed to come. And they have this like whole Thanksgiving dinner. It's all just a charade, because he doesn't want to, Brian, the dad, does not want to invite his love child to the actual Thanksgiving dinner. So
the corporate dinner with all his, friends from works and whatever. Yeah.
He doesn't want to explain her to them. So, and somehow Charlie and Stella, so Charlie's her half brother. He's the one that you said is like 6 months younger than Stella. But so somehow they have become really close. I forget how they became friends, just whether through their life growing up and her being this kind of side child. But Charlie's lovely and always is a great like foil to the negativity of the dad. And so he'll make jokes and makes her feel really comfortable. And he's a good friend to Stella, even though.
And to Luca. I mean, he's friends with Luca too.
They are in New York together. Yeah.
And he's kind of one of those, friend group wild cards where like her and Lila Charlie and Lila are like the friendship wild cards where they're just going to kind of say the weird thing or say the whatever and, really make the main characters who don't talk about their issues make them talk about their issues. And so, it's nice having those kind of characters in there, because what was it, the call girl, the billionaires wake up call girl, her best friend who lived in the apartment with her was that friend group character awesome. Where she was like egging her on and getting her to, she's embroidering on the pillows and everything else, all the sayings,
great.
like that's Charlie and Layla in this conversation, and they're pretty fun. But she gets these text messages from her dad going, dinner's this Saturday at 3 p.m. Bring pumpkin pie. And she's like, I'm not going to bring pumpkin pie. I'm going to bring pecan, and I'm going to make it gluten-free. Yeah. I'm going to make it gluten-free.
The gluten-free part was the best. They were like, why'd you do that? She's like, I want it to taste as shitty as possible.
And they just laugh. I mean, we're pretty much there. Before we get to that scene, which was, I think, my favorite in the entire book, which was that Thanksgiving, that early Thanksgiving scene. But they are getting the Halloween thing. The dead tree section of the farm, they turn into a Halloween thing for the kids and charge admission and whatever else, and make a little money. Like, they're finding creative ways to make money. But at some point in here, Luca almost chokes on something, and she's like hitting him on the back while humming Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he's like, are you humming Earth, Wind, and Fire? And she's like, oh, it's the wrong song. And I'm like, yeah, and mainly used for CPR, and it's staying alive. Like, like she was completely wrong about everything she was doing. But it made me laugh, because I think that was where they were I don't know. I don't think they'd kissed for the first time yet. No, they hadn't yet. But it was, Luca is Stella's dreading going to this Thanksgiving thing, but Luca's kind of fortifying for her and kind of bracing her emotionally and everything else. But she does want to see Charlie. And
so she didn't want to go. I mean, she was talking to Luca about how she didn't want to go, and he was like, well, if I'm your fake boyfriend, I should go with you regardless, as a friend even. And so he demands that she goes, and she's like, I don't want to invite you last minute, like, it's yada yada. Regardless, he goes. Charlie's like, this is great. And then they don't tell Charlie the truth, right? Like, they just let Charlie assume that they're together.
No, but I think Luca does tell him, because Charlie is excited, like everybody else is excited that they're finally together, but I think Luca had a conversation where Luca tells Charlie, at least, that his feelings are real. I don't know if he told him that this is fake or not, but I think Charlie gets that Luca is actually in this. And the thing is, Luca keeps telling her, well, it doesn't need to end. We can just keep this going. We can just do whatever. And he's being obtuse about his feelings, but he's not lying to her. He just kind of wants her to realize that they could be good together, and keeps just going, oh, well, we just won't break up in the end. We just won't, do whatever. But at some point,
like, intentionally coy about it, because she's like, we need to have these guardrails, and we need to, she's so worried and concerned, at least how I read it and took it, was that she did not want to lose this friendship. So she was like, well, we need to know and talk about it now. Like, how are we going to go back? What are we going to do? And so it's this very classic friends to lovers. I mean, in almost every way of the trope. And so, they're like, okay, well, while we're together, we should just pretend to be together. And then in public. And then they're like, well, I guess we can also pretend to be together when we're, alone, just so that it feels real when we're out in public.
And we should probably practice kissing. And we should
practice. And their first kiss, I'm sure you loved and wrote that down as a funny scene, because she was like, she attacked his face.
The first kiss concussion. Yeah.
Yeah. She was just like, well, we have to learn how to kiss. And so she just goes for it, and it's terrible. And he's like, is that really how you kiss? And she's like,
oh man.
No. And so then they have a real kiss, and it's cute.
At some point in here, they said, on the way to the party, they said something about how they're too old for keg stands, and in my notes I was like, I'm going to my 20-year college reunion over the summer.
Are you?
And Tim Tim said that he's going to request founder's dorm room bunk beds for our room assignment on campus. And I told him one of us is going to break a hip trying to get into the top bunk, but I'm in. I'm like, let's do it.
Yes. They don't have ladders. You have to climb up the end of the bed.
Oh yeah, but he got a four bedroom room somewhere. So because at some point I couldn't sign up on the website. It wasn't giving me the ability to sign up for a room. So I'm like,
probably because you've been like banned from every bar, building, dorm on campus.
There is that, but also I just said, oh, it looks like we're going to be spending Tim and I are going to be spending the weekend with the. Casey and Bethany in their twin bed, together. All four of us jammed in there.
Like you weren't there every weekend anyway. Is that your foursome? You, Casey?
No. They got a room by themselves. Tim got a four set room, but it's only me and him for now.
Oh, just the two of you. Okay.
Yeah, in case Craig or anybody else wants to come, we have extra room, but. Yeah, for now it's just the two of us because I think Jeff has some World Cup. I think he's going to see some random game. I know, complete dipshit. But the back to the story here. They go to the dipshit dad's fake Thanksgiving, and he isn't there when they start having dinner. This is my favorite scene in the entire book, and he comes in drunk as they're like getting ready to eat, and he sits down at the table hammered and just dips his hand into the mashed potatoes and starts eating them out of his hand. And he falls asleep at the table with his other hand in the gravy boat. And Charlie's just taking pictures of him. And I mean, it was hysterical. I mean, it was very funny. And the wife is just sitting there like, whatever, this dude sucks. And Stella has never had a great relationship with the
stepmom.
The
or
stepmom.
Not even her stepmom. The wife, her dad's wife.
Yeah. And she's never really had a relationship, and mainly more out of her feelings than the mom's. The mom has always been nice and cordial to her, but she just has kind of had her own issues with a new mom role type thing. And it's you can see the mom is kind of over this shit, and we find out in the end, spoilies, that the dad's been cheating on her with a bunch of different women from the office, and he's getting fired, and the stepmom applies for divorce. And really kind of just that's a whole side story that kind of just interweaves throughout this thing, but it's fun to see, and it gets wrapped up very nicely in a bow.
Well, and Stella, I think too, as funny as the scene was, I've read it much more as like it's kind of sad, because I think that showed Stella was like, I don't know. I think she always felt a little, not a jealousy of Charlie, her stepbrother, but like he had this whole family and his parents were together, and just he wasn't sort of somebody's side piece's kid. And so she had a reflection when all of the drunk stuff was happening with the dad of like, actually, I'm really glad that this isn't my responsibility. Like, I felt like Charlie was trying to like, Dad, chill out, have some water, like, trying to engage with him. And she was just like, I don't have to do that because he sucks and he's not a huge part of my life. And so she said, she had some like, I actually kind of feel bad for Charlie. Like that sucks that's his dad.
It is kind of liberating for her in that way. And it was, yes, you're right. I mean, it is a sad testament to the dad just being that drunk on his demanded fake holiday that he created for himself. But the circumstances and how much fun Charlie was getting out of it made me laugh a lot. But I can see your social work angle from it too, Helen.
Well, and then the only other thing, and I do feel like as much as this is a Christmas tree farm, like a Christmas book, it felt very Thanksgiving-y. It felt very like November, early December time, because that's when most of this happens. Like I don't even know if they hit Christmas. I'm sure they do, but
no, they don't.
And so all I could think of, because there was this Thanksgiving, and then there's Luca's family invites her to Thanksgiving. And so with this one, though, that she was asked to bring the pie and brought the gluten-free whatever, all I could think of was those, do you remember those turkey cookies that Mom got from Prantles.
The penis turkis cookie. Turkey cookie.
I forget what I feel like that was one of the Thanksgivings when like Lauren and Maggie were in Pittsburgh and like we were having a big thing, and Mom was Prantles is this like phenomenal bakery in Pittsburgh. Everybody loves Prantles, and they're in Shady Side. And Mom comes home and she's like, "You guys, I got the best cookies in the world." I think they were like sugar cookies with like ice with like an iced turkey on top.
Thick icing.
We have to find that. We have to find the photo of them. And it like literally you open the box and Mom is just proud as punch. And I don't remember if like I feel like we were like, "Wow, good job, Mom," and then secretly we were like, "Oh my God, they look like penises on fire." Yeah. And then eventually like we started getting drunker and drunker, and we were finally like, "Mom, you bought penis cookies." And she was like, "What are you talking about? Those are expensive, Thanksgiving cookies from Prantles." But it's just like this like soft flesh colored. We'll look at the picture. We'll have to put up the picture. It's
yeah,
like
we'll find it and put it up here somewhere.
like stripped down the middle, and then just like all of hypothetically, right, the turkey tail behind it with like all of these like red and orange flames. It just looks like a penis on fire, and there is just like honestly no other way to interpret that cookie. And I will never forget that Thanksgiving on our
But they were delicious.
They were all eaten. Like, let's not body by Chipotle, all right? Like we're not over here not eating the penis cookies.
Man.
But
but
so
for sure the
Thanksgiving
cookies.
Desserts in this book made me think of Mom's penis cookies.
That's gonna be the thumbnail quote. Mom's penis cookies. Talking about penis cookies, or they have the post-coital gift basket conversation where they're they're kind of fantasying, they're touching each other, and they're kind of joking in the car on the way home from this disaster of a Thanksgiving, fake Thanksgiving, and she was like, "Well, I think I'm pretty good at sex," and he's like, "Well, how do you know?" And
hand out a survey?
She's asking him, and he goes, "Well, I've never had any complaints." She's like, "What, are you handing out post-coital gift baskets?" And she's like, "Don't say coital." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm giving out post-coital gift baskets with a QR code for a sex rating survey and all this stuff." And they're, really and at this point too, they've always during their relationship, they've always been touchy-feely, but right now, like, she's getting all hot and bothered by this, and we only have her perspective of this. So, I'm assuming that he's popping bones left and right too. But for now, we just know that
she almost
she's
touches herself once.
I
named it
32%. Okay, what did you name it?
I named it flaccid finger flicking.
Okay,
because she was just putting some digits down there, and then she didn't really do much.
Well, I think it was more of a. I think it was. Yeah, I was going to say it's more behind closed doors. I'm just assuming that's where it went, but I called it 32% in illusion of fingering. It's she's thinking about rubbing one out and touching and and touching.
I don't know why that made me so uncomfortable. Don't use that one again.
We did get a comment on YouTube the other day from a guy going, "I can't tell if Helen's just uncomfortable with Ned's naming of the chapters or that it's her brother saying it." I'm like, it's both. And he goes, but he saw our outtakes from Pucking Around, and that's the first episode that he was gonna watch. I'm like, welcome to the fucking rodeo, dude.
Enjoy.
But she knuckles down behind closed doors, but followed quickly by that is 33%, the first kiss concussion, where they decide that they're going to practice, kissing, and she, as you said before, just in a sheer panic, throws herself at him and headbutts his lips, and like their lips are barely matching up, and headbutts him, and it's wholly embarrassing. And his reaction to that was priceless. And then he regroups and kisses the hell out of her. I mean, and it was for a kiss, I'm like, okay.
I called that chapter Lip Smackers. kidding. I didn't name it. I'm just kidding.
But but you can tell even from just the kiss that it's like, oh, she can write a little steam. She can write some steaminess.
I did take the note that the sex scenes were mostly tame overall, and we'll get to the other ones, but like they got spicier with time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I mean, and overall, I think this was pretty tame. You know, I would say low medium, or because there were four. Explicit sex scenes.
Yeah. Would
you open door?
Open door. Would you do live readings of this book, of the sex scenes in this book, on a Christmas morning around the tree?
Absolutely.
I think this one is tame enough to warrant a family live reading, a family live dramatic reading.
I mean, I think he only pulls out and comes on her once.
Santa came.
Yeah. He didn't come down the chimney.
He came all over the couch.
Wookie cookie. But right after this kissing, she immediately spins out, which is par for the course.
Par for the course.
And she's trying to convince herself that she doesn't care as much as she thinks she does, and he's wondering about how much he cares about all this stuff, and that is standard single perspective popcockery where I'm like, okay, enough. But quickly moves on to Luca talking to the sheriff, and we get out of her head pretty quickly. And we come to find out that there's been a betting pool in town, and all of this is predicated on the fact that we're not even halfway through the book yet.
Ned, we need to
speed this up. So Evelyn St. James, I think, or Evelyn St. Clair, or whatever the fuck her real name is, shows up to town finally, and she almost immediately finds out that they're faking. That they're
but you
not
don't know
together.
That. The
we
reader
don't know
doesn't know that until the very end of the book.
Yeah, we don't know that. But Stella is, paralytic about St. James finding out, or St. Clair, or whatever her name is, finding out that they're faking. But then the entire town is acting like this is such a huge deal. It's, that they're just gotten together. That it's pretty obvious. But they have, their first meeting, Beckett is being introduced to her, and they know each other from a bone-down weekend from
Colorado or something.
They were they were at some like bed and breakfast conference and totally just banged all weekend,
and she left him.
And she left before he woke up, and he was pretty butthurt about it. And there's a couple emotional jizz fests in here where they're talking about her dad and his dad and her mom, and the whole grilled cheese reveal of the first time they met, he could see that she was sad, and she's like, hey, let's go get her grilled cheese. And we come to find out later in the book that his dad made him grilled cheese when he was sad, and it's like there's this huge kind of they've been in love with each other since the first time they saw each other 10 years ago, and they've kind of just been fucking around for a while. And then the raccoons turned out to be kittens, like we mentioned before. That was super cute, and where she finds them.
And they loved Beckett. That was my favorite part of it.
In his pocket, and sitting on his
shoulder, and like nuzzling him. And anytime anyone else would try to take them, they would like hiss and be like. And so just like you just think of Beckett as this like dreamboat anyway. He's described as being extremely handsome, and then the cats love him, and it's just like, and so that's a great part of the story.
Well, and there's some forced proximity in here too, because like he's staying with her he's staying in her house on
one bed.
Yeah, one bed, and so that leads to 48% or early morning grind and tickle, where they're getting all comfy and cuddly, boner alert.
I feel like
bed.
we could make that joke better. Early morning grind and tickle.
We're 50 minutes into this podcast, Helen. We need to move.
You're going to do some creative editing because I want to make that joke funnier. What did you call it? It's what's the Folgers slogan? The best part of waking up is a finger and a fuck.
Is Folgers in your cup?
Is a fuck in your cup? The best part of waking up is a finger and a fuck.
A finger in your butt. part of waking
up is a
finger in your butt.
Okay, we can move on.
Yeah. So spooning, and this is more sensual than hot, but I definitely count it as a sex scene because they are, they're. I was like, it's sensual more than hot, but in a desert, even muddy water looks good. So in this tame desert of a book, it's like any sex scene that you can get is worth it. And the fondling her hip bones and her beeve is sweating. And and it's she's like super wet, and then they're about to like do it, and they get interrupted by Beckett, cock block Beckett, playing Jingle Bells on the tractor horn, and they're in this. Anita St. Clair is there, and that's super cute. They're taking her around the farm and kind of introducing her to everything. And even when they go to the house, Luca's mom's house which was my second favorite scene, the real Thanksgiving at Luca's mom's house. Aunt Eva walks in, were you late because you were having sex? And
he's like all of his Italian aunties are like...
and they just give him so much shit that he goes, I need to go get the chairs from the basement, and he comes back up just smelling like whiskey, and showing him all the baby pictures of Luca, and everything, and that was a very sweet scene. And we find out that the town has been setting up shifts to make the farm look super busy while Darla St. James is there, and he's like, you're part of our home, Luca's mom is telling her.
Yeah,
that was super cute, and it's very
Gilmore Girls-y,
Gilmore Girls-esque
of just the town loving them.
55% post turkey dry brine. They're worried. They're worried about pressuring each other, and they just full on hard make out on the couch. And it's confusing, and he wants to take. He fingers her over the pants, HJ. And he stops her because he wants to take it slow or whatever. But now she's full on, like, into it. She just wants it hardcore. And once again,
she wants to peel the meat off his carcass. You see what I did there? Turkey.
But the pacing wise, now we go straight to there's a hooded figure on the farm and throwing rocks at the stuff, and so they jump up, and she wakes Luca up, and they go running out to go try and find this guy, and she calls the sheriff. Beckett and Luca are trying to chase this guy across a field, and when the sheriff pulls up and finds them, they're like mud wrestling in the field. They had fallen down into the mud, which was another very funny scene. There was a lot of good funny in here, and 65% in the spank me teacher. The causal analysis where he's like, if I do this to your boob, this does this to your crotch. And, it's like...
if I honk this nipple, you queef.
Exactly. And he's massaging her inseam, and all this stuff. And then it pops her bra off, unleashing them titties. And Luca just goes feral. And then he's kissing her neck, and then he just trumps her, just grabs her by the pussy. And then some grade A finger play to completion, and she's just jerking him off on the couch after that, and it was spicy. I mean, it was pretty hot, and the Lavender St. James is suitably impressed by the farm and everything else, and she's falling in love with the place, and we come to find out she's known the whole time that Luca
Stella
and Stella
clean.
have been. Yes, but she's known the whole time. She was waiting for Stella to say something. And
sort of. She said, like, I was hoping that you would tell me before I confronted you about it. And she did. And Stella did. And was like, I need you to know this.
And she had to kick him out of the contest. But by that point, Stella had already come clean to Beckett and Layla. Beckett and
About
Layla
the
and
money
Luca.
thing.
Yeah, and Layla, and Luca had already put together a business proposal where they would buy in to the farm and kind of alleviate some of the money problems. And so while it didn't turn out that she was going to win this prize, she got enough followers from Lavender showing up that they're already having a good season. They're already getting much more traffic to the farm, and they find out that Mr. Hewitt, a guy that she's known for her entire time, the librarian guy, was the bad actor because he wanted to start an alpaca farm on the same land, and before he could get his funding together, the previous owner sold it to Stella instead, and so he's been pissed and damaging, thousands of dollars in property damage this whole time. So she doesn't want to get him arrested, but they agreed that he's going to pay her back for all the damage that he caused and everything else. And that was kind of side note, kind of the just right turn detour storytelling wise to kind of take care of that plot line, which was a big plot line. But she runs into the sheriff's office going, okay, I've watched enough Law and Order. I can get in there. Let's interrogate this guy. And he's like, he already admitted it. Like it's already over. It's already done. But that was a fun little scene. And yeah, I think everyone in town can see that they're in love with each other, except for Stella. Luca knows, Luca can tell. And 86% in, you feeling what I'm feeling? Yes, your penis. That they have full on penetrative sex. There's lots of nipple play. It's slow and sexy, and they fornicate like wild rabbits. They're a couple times boning, throughout the night. And then
I would like to take this moment to complain about Luca's nickname for Stella.
Lala, yeah.
He calls her Lala all the way through the book. And during this sex scene, I'm sure, or maybe all of them, I don't know, but he goes, oh, la. Like, his moans turn into, like, la-las every time, and it's...
I didn't read it. I didn't listen to it that way. I
hated it. It just, I thought, like, okay, her name's Stella. I get it. Like, but call her Stell, or I don't know, like, la. I didn't like it I didn't. And then when he was saying it sexually, it made me hate it even more.
Well,
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and this goes right into the low point. I mean, which is a relatively early low point. I mean, short, but
early.
No, yeah,
like
I guess
90%. It was like almost the end.
Yeah, I guess it's right around 90% ish. She spins out right after the sex scene. And Luca is, she keeps talking about this trial run coming to an end and everything else. Mm-hmm. And just a slight bit more of communication could have solved this whole thing. But he's trying to explain, and it's just Stella isn't getting it until he finally yells, "I'm in love with you!" And she's like, "No, you're not."
She's just like, "Nice try, leave."
And I just thought it was very funny, the declaration of love at extremely high volumes. Like that made me laugh a lot. But she's trying to protect herself. She doesn't want to lose him. But it's like, oh my god! And this is where she comes clean with Evelyn about getting disqualified, or about the relationship status and everything else, and getting disqualified. And Evie St. Bernard says, Stella, you're great. I still want to feature you on the website, and I love this place and the town and the barn and everything else. And
she
so
made a video about it.
She made a video, really, and suddenly, watching the video, it's like, now I can see how much Luca loves me. I'm like, ugh, okay, this was convenient and whatever, and it was. Yeah.
It's a fictional book.
I know, but still. And I misremembered this part of the story. I had thought that he had gone back to the city, and I'm thinking maybe I was confusing it with Charlie's book, because I thought that he had gone back to the city and she chased him down in the city to kind of like go back over it. But he literally just goes over to Beckett's house, sits there for the afternoon, and then they clear everything up on the porch later that afternoon. So it's like their low point was maybe 2 hours. It was like half a day.
At some point, she was like, she found him in Beckett's house, and she was like, "I thought you'd like left and gone back to New York," and he was like, "No, no, all my stuff's at your house. Like, I just came over here to eat or like to hang out. Like, no, I didn't go back to New York or go to his mom's." She was like, "He's left." He was just
Well,
next door.
and so then that's followed up pretty much by the Luca's epilogue, where it talks about wrapping up all his story and how long he's loved her, and their meeting from his perspective and everything else. And I thought that was a nice kind of look into his brain and everything else. I don't think it was completely necessary for the story, but it was. I did enjoy seeing some stuff from his perspective.
He decided to move closer to. So he was in New York, obviously, and then moved to Delaware or something. He moved.
Yeah. I mean, he moved about 20 minutes away.
20 minutes away. And so that she was like, I'll get to see you. I could see you in the morning and in the evening and as a friend. Then he's like, no. Like, so much of this is him, trying to make room and make space for their relationship to happen. And she keeps saying, you can't make fetch happen. So.
Can't make fetch happen? What?
Stop trying to make fetch happen, Ned.
I don't know what that means.
I know.
Oh, Mean Girls.
Damn it. I was just going to let it linger.
Trying to get me on a movie quote. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
What kind of tropes we touched on a couple of them here, but the one of the funny ones I saw online was, friends to lovers, fake dating, obviously, a little slow burn romance, mutual pining, but one of them was idiots in love, and it was like they're clearly in love, just not communicating it. And I was like, yep, okay, the idiots in love trope. I was like, that's a new one I'm going to put on our list. Found family, tight community, just small town romance, longtime crush. There's
You're
a lot of them.
You're thinking of a lot more than I did. I just thought friends to lovers.
Oh, I had ChatGPT print up a huge list of them, and a bunch of themes that we don't have time for, and I don't really care to.
Start calling ChatGPT our intern.
Our intern put together this list.
Our intern put together this list.
Yes, Helen. Perfect idea.
Thank you.
That is perfect. Where would you put this book on the Smutter reader?
Low.
Tame. Yeah, I think I already even marked it on our website as tame.
Yes,
but
tame.
Yes, I would agree, tame. And but would you recommend it? Even though tame?
Hell yes, absolutely. I adored this book. I feel like you and I texted each other like, this is really cozy. I think I said it was cozy. I was like, it's so cute. And I was like, God, how are we really reading this holiday book in, what is it, March, April right now? And I was like, but it didn't feel too holiday explicit. It's definitely would be good around the holidays, but it didn't feel so Christmas that you couldn't read it other times. I don't know if you felt that way, but I loved it.
I did.
Read.
Well, that's why I made the intro about ho 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 Christmas in April,
Satan's
because I was like,
naughty list.
Satan's naughty list, because it is March right now, and it's like, okay, and I was wondering about delaying it to closer to the holidays, but we're gonna be done airing season 2 by September, and it's But we'll do another turkey fuckers book like we did, for some bonus eps this coming holiday season. But do you know what we are reading next week?
Megan Quinn. Fuck you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You were doubting me, but I have a nice meet cute, something meet cute.
Not so meet cute.
Not so meet cute.
By Megan Quinn, yeah. So that's coming up next week.
Generally pretty spicy.
Yeah, pretty spicy. Every time I feel like we say that, the books are not as spicy as we remember them being.
Come on,
but
Megan, come through for us.
I think this is a first read for me. Not my first Megan Quinn, but a first read of this series. And well, we'll give you all the tea next week, Smutters. But yes, this book, this BK Borison, Lovelight Farms, is absolutely a recommend for me too. I don't think I ever gave my recommendation, but yes,
Ned,
absolute read for me.
How would you recommend it?
I just did. Thanks for introducing the question after the fact.
How would you think about this book? What are some tropes, Ned?
Oh, at least I didn't surprise you with any questions this week, Helen. You're used to the script now. We have not done the Mad Lib in a couple of weeks, so we gotta get one of those cooking. But doing a small town romance Mad Lib is. They all kind of just sound the same, so I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for a good theme to strike, so that I can get our intern to put a good one together. So next week, Smutters, we are listening to A Not So Me Cute by Megan Quinn. If you are liking our bullshit, please hit that rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Generally, golden shower us with praise. Helen is doing some weird fingering of the camera. Thanks for listening, Smutters, and tune in next week.
The best part of waking up is a finger in your butt.
Stay smutty.
Stay smutty.
Smutty.
Smut. Oh, shit.
As she judo chops her camera out.